So let me guess, you've probably seen those YouTube ads that show you that you can make millions of pounds a week or millions of dollars per week dropshipping all while you're sleeping, right? Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but after helping multiple brands build and scale their stores, I'm going to tell you something that the gurus won't. So did you know that 90% of dropshipping stores actually fail within the first year? And look guys, it's not because dropshipping doesn't work. Dropshipping absolutely works. And do you know why that is? It's because people treat it like it's going to be a passive income business, when in reality you actually really need to build a real business. You can't do it part-time. I know that's something that the gurus tell you, but you absolutely cannot do it that way. I'm telling you that now. And just in case you're wondering who I am, my name's Des from the Ecom Corner. I've helped multiple stores grow their stores using AI and automation. And look, after analyzing over 100 failed stores, I'm going to show you something quite shocking, and I'm going to show you why most of those businesses failed. And I bet it's not what you're thinking. But more importantly than that, what I'm about to show you is something that I only share with my clients. I'm about to show you. I'm going to share with you the entire product selection strategy, and I'm also going to show you the hidden winners that most dropshippers actually miss. So today I'll reveal both these insights, show you the daily reality of dropshipping, and most importantly, share what you should be doing instead of what the gurus are actually telling you. So guys, let me walk you through a typical day of a dropshipper. So in the morning, the very first thing they do is they check the overnight orders, and just to see if there's any shipping issues with those orders. And look, depending on how many sales they make, if they're making quite a few sales, they're gonna have a few issues first thing in the morning. And after they've finished checking all of those details, by mid-morning, they've then got to start replying back to some of these customers. They've got to respond to inquiries, they've got to respond to complaints. If anybody has left a message or have left a comment on one of their social media posts, they've got to check that just to ensure that they've not written anything bad. And after they've got rid of all of that fun stuff, they've then got to start monitoring the ads that they've actually been showing yesterday. They've got to have a look at the performance to see how well they did or how badly they did. And then they've got to start tweaking, because it's really, really important that, especially on something like either Facebook or Instagram advertising, things change from day to day. Just because you set up an ad now doesn't mean it's going to work perfectly for the rest of the time. Now, if I'm honest, that's probably going to take up quite a bit of their time. So we've gone from early morning to mid-morning. We're now getting into the later afternoon. They've now got to research new products, and they've also got to communicate with their suppliers if they haven't done that in the morning. And the last bit of reality check is they've got to deal with any payment issues and also deal with any chargebacks. Like, you see what I mean about this not being a passive business? This definitely is not a passive business. I don't even know where they get that from, but it's definitely not a passive business. And guys, even though you don't have any stock, there is still a lot to do. You've still got to run the store as if you've got a big massive warehouse, as if you've got customer service reps. Even though you're doing it on your own, you've got to fulfill all of those things on your own. And if you think that's bad enough, your customers expect 24/7 service. So if they can't get hold of you, they want to get hold of somebody on live chat, for example. And if you don't just drop ship to one country, just say, for example, you drop ship to a few countries, you've got to deal with multiple time zones. So somebody that's actually receiving something now might be receiving it or have an issue with it when you're sleeping. Now, in this point of the video, I'm not trying to discourage anyone. I'm just trying to lay it out how it is, because no one's going to tell you this. Everybody tells you that everything's going to be as sweet as roses and you're not going to have any problems at all. Guys, it really isn't like that. This is a proper business where you can have a lot of success, but you've got to deal with the issues at the same time. You've got to deal with handling delays, you've got to deal with shipping problems, and then you've got to manage the customer's expectations to what actually happens in reality. So then you've got things like regular quality control checks. And if you want this to be a proper business, you've got to negotiate terms as well. You can't just keep the terms the same every month, every year. You've always got to negotiate them. And I've said this in other videos, even if you've only got one product, you've still got to have multiple suppliers. You got to deal with stock shortages, miscommunication, and that's why it's really important to build a backup of suppliers. You've got daily ad management budget. You've got to create new ad creatives almost daily. A/B split test different audiences, constant optimization of different campaigns. And you've got to keep up with platform changes, because the thing with Facebook, Instagram and Google, they change all the freaking time. So guys, let's get into the meat of things. Let me show you why a lot of stores fail. They don't do proper market research. They don't do any competitor analysis, really poor financial planning, no brand strategy, and probably the biggest one of all, the fifth one, they don't have enough starting capital. They pick suppliers with really unreliable shipping times, inconsistent product quality, really poor communication, no quality control process, and limited customization options. And depending on who the supplier is, they probably don't have anybody checking the quality control on that side of things. Inconsistent packaging, so what's going out today, the packaging looks completely different to what's going out tomorrow. Product variations from batch to batch. Limited control over shipping methods. And when you break all of this down, it's really difficult to maintain your standards when you've got all of those problems that I've just listed. Now, do you remember that shocking discovery that I mentioned to you earlier? So here it is, guys. 80% of failed dropshipping stores collapse because their owners treat them like passive side hustles instead of a real business. They try to automate everything from day one without actually building the relationships with their suppliers. Nor did they have the proper systems in place either. And you know what's really interesting? If you flip all of that on its head, if you do all those things in reverse, if you do all those things the right way, you will have a lot of success with dropshipping. So I've gone through all of the ways in which they fail as dropshippers. I'm about to show you the best way to do it. In a few minutes, I'm going to show you a counteractive strategy that helped one of my clients who was actually struggling make 6 figures per month. And you know what? It goes completely against the grain of what you've been told online. And guys, it works incredibly well. But first, let me show you the right way to dropship. Now look guys, before you start any business, even if it's not dropshipping, doesn't matter what sort of business it is, you do need to do detailed market research, which also means you've got to do competitor analysis, you've got to do financial projections, so you've got to actually project what your store is going to do in the future. You need a basic market strategy, and then you need a decent brand development plan. Okay, so this is the bit you've been waiting for. I'm going to list now all the things that you need to do. Forget about all the stuff that you shouldn't be doing. Let's concentrate on the things that you should be doing. So you've got to create unique product bundles of the things that you're actually selling in your store. Ensure that you have custom packaging options. Develop a really strong brand story. Build a lot of social proof, so it means even if you're paying influencers to actually take your products so they can actually give reviews on them, you need to get a lot of social proof, as in video testimonials or even written testimonials. To be honest, if you can get video ones, they're absolutely brilliant, but if you can't get those, a written one is totally fine. And then you want to create a content marketing strategy. So content marketing encompasses a lot of different things. Mainly we're talking about writing articles like blog posts, for example, producing a video from those blog posts, and then basically cutting them up into different sections so you can have them as shorts or even put them on TikTok, for example. Okay, then we're going to get down to the serious stuff. You've got to have a simple sample ordering system, supplier vetting system, quality inspection criteria, return and refund policies, and probably most important of all, customer feedback loops that basically allow you to actually get feedback from your customers to tell you what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. And then obviously the things that you're doing wrong, you can start correcting those in the back end. Now, I mentioned there was an issue with automation earlier. Listen, automation is great. This is the sort of stuff that I actually teach. This is the sort of stuff that I can really get my teeth into. So I'm not saying not to automate. The best way is just to automate properly. And that means you can set up automated responses by the likes of Klaviyo or any other email marketing platform. Create really detailed FAQs for every product, because if you can actually let people know everything they need to know within the actual product description, it means they're not emailing you. It means they're not trying to hassle you on your live chat. And more importantly, the moment you start actually making money, the moment things are going well, you really need to have a customer service team. And when I say customer service team, I don't even really mean hiring anybody, but if you've got people within your family unit that can actually help you with your business, they can also be helpful in customer service. And one of the easiest things that you can actually implement today is actually installing a chatbot. Obviously, it's going to be too much to go into in this video, but in other videos, I'm going to show you how to install these chatbots. And then you want to create self-service options for your customers. So very quickly, here are the things you can actually automate. Order processing automation, inventory sync systems. Now, I mentioned this before, but you can do email automation, social media scheduling, so you're scheduling posts far off into the future. And then lastly, we've got customer service automation. If you can do all of those things that I've just listed, you'll definitely have a successful dropshipping store and you won't be one of the statistics that fails within the year. Now here's the moment you've probably been waiting for, this counteractive strategy that I mentioned earlier. So here it is, guys. Instead of trying to find winning products, my client focused on building a real brand around a single product category. They were really passionate about it. They actually started with dropshipping but used it as market research for their eventual private label business. So in essence, what they did is they tested different products. It took them a period of time, I'm not gonna lie, but they gathered customer feedback and then refined their offerings until they found the perfect product market fit. Then they made the transition to private labeling. This is really important. And the reason why it's really important is because that's when things really took off. So in this video, I've got another bonus for you. Again, I don't normally share this, but I'm going to share it with you now. This is a strategy that I only normally share with my clients. So I'm going to share this with you now. So if you've got a pen and paper, write this down. So this strategy is called the silent winner strategy. And it's how my most successful clients identify truly profitable products before investing in inventory or even any marketing at all. So here's the thing that most people miss. They look at competitors' best-selling products, but I actually tell my clients to look for what I call silent winners. And what these are, guys, these are products that have been selling consistently for months and probably even years. But they really need to be selling for at least 6 months and they need to be profitable. And here's the key, if they're not heavily advertised, this is definitely a niche that you can get into. So here is exactly how to find them. So the very first thing you need to do is you need to find a competitor store that's been around for at least a year. Do you remember at the very beginning when I said the vast majority of dropshipping stores go out of business within a year? If you think about it logically, any store that's actually survived that period, those are the stores to look at. Then make sure you're writing this down. Like I said, I don't normally share this. I'm going to share this with you now. You look at their bestseller list and you look at their featured products. Okay, I'll say that again. Their bestsellers and their featured products. Then once you've written that down, I want you to scroll all the way down to the bottom to look at their regular products. Now, what we're going to do here, guys, we're going to look for products that have 20 plus real reviews spread over several months. They aren't featured on their homepage, don't have any active ads running to them, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute, and have consistent non-discount pricing. And just a minute ago when I just said that you need to check that the ads aren't being run against these products, you can check a platform like Facebook Ad Library. You type in your competitor's name into Facebook Ad Library and then you basically just check through those listings to see if they're running ads against those products. Because if they're not, these are great products for you, because it means when you start advertising them, you'll actually make more sales than your competitor is. Now these products are golden because they have proven long-term demand, they face less competition, they often have better margins than the other products, and they don't require any heavy advertising as well. So you can actually start your advertising on a really low budget, get my words out, start the advertising on a really low budget and then just scale up if they start selling quite well. And look, guys, this approach completely changes how you actually build your store. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed that. If you're serious about building a real e-commerce business, I've got a treat for you. Whether you're going to try and adopt the dropshipping model or you're actually going to buy stock in, you really want to join my free community. Hey there, e-commerce entrepreneurs. Are you looking to level up your online store with AI and automation? Then you need to join our free community on school.com. The Ecom network is your go-to hub for cutting-edge AI strategies, time-saving automation tips, exclusive live Q&As, and a supportive network of fellow store owners. And best of all, it's completely free to join. So head on over to the Ecom network on School and click the join group to get started. Let's grow together in the Ecom network. And you really want to be watching my next video, guys, because in my next video, I'm going to show you how to find wholesale products that you can actually dropship. As always, my name's Des from the Ecom Corner, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.